Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu assures that the Commission is ready for the next weekend election. He explains that the Commission has introduced new innovations. We'll be hearing about that in a moment. And the Inspector General of Police has asked parents to speak to their children to stay away from violence, as the police will not condone misbehaviors during the Saturday election. Many thanks for joining in. This is Politics Today live on Channels Television. We're reaching you live from our Benin studio. Chairman Professor Mahmoud Yakubu assures that the Commission is ready for the next weekend election. He explains that it has introduced new innovations for Saturday election. And the Inspector General of Police has asked parents to speak to their children to stay away from trouble or fomenting violence, as the police would not condone misbehaviors during the Saturday polls. Thank you so much for joining in, everyone. Thank you indeed for staying with us in this coverage of the governorship election in Edo State. We are on the ground for you. Apologies first and foremost on some of the delays in coming to you, but we are making sure that you get all of what you need in terms of information as far as the governorship election is concerned. Why is the Edo governorship election important? It's the very first governorship election, a major election in Nigeria, in the COVID-19 era. And so we're monitoring how INEC is performing, what the security agencies are doing, and what needs to be done. And so earlier today, INEC is ensuring that, it says that it wants to ensure that the election is credible, and there was an INEC stakeholders meeting where governorship candidates, political parties, security, members of the interagency committee, INEC officials, civil society groups, and election observers were meeting, and INEC was reporting on what it is doing differently. As they said that there are new innovations to ensure that the election is credible. And so let's get started, everyone, shall we? Let me bring to you some of the sound bites of what happened today. First and foremost, let's get to hear from the INEC chairman on the issue of some of the innovations and what is going to be different from this election. Take a listen to INEC chairman, Professor Mahmoud Yakubu.
The most critical of the recent innovations introduced by the Commission is the use of a tablet now popularly called ZPad. It is a new innovation introduced to serve as a secondary means of achieving full biometric accreditation using facial image of the voter in support of the fingerprint authentication by the smart card reader. Secondly, the camera on the tablet will be used to take a picture of the polling unit result, the EC8A, and to upload same on a dedicated portal. It's called INEC Results Viewing, IREV. This will enable those interested in viewing the results to do so in real time. The Commission deployed the ZPad in the Nasarawa Central State Constituency by-election in Nasarawa State on 8 August 2020. It was a test run intended to assess the functionality of the technology before its deployment in major elections. While the capture and upload of polling unit level results went on smoothly, the facial authentication did not. Without going into technical details, let me say that the Commission encountered hardware and software issues which needed to be fixed. Our ICT department worked on the new device and made a presentation to the Commission, but the Commission decided that the system needs to be robust enough before it can be deployed in a major election. Unlike the 44 polling units of the Nasarawa Central State Constituency, the Edo governorship election involves 2,627 polling units. The Commission decided that since this technology is work in progress, we should carry out further test run in some of the smaller constituencies during the by-election scheduled for 31st October 2020, and thereafter engage with stakeholders before it can be deployed in major elections.
You heard him there, the INEC chairman, the man who is at the helm of affairs at INEC, ensuring that this election is credible. Of course, one of the issues on the table is what INEC is doing differently. Timing is going to change from 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m. for the election to start. INEC said there is a new creation or an innovation into the electoral process. ZPAD, that's what it's called, a tablet to be used for accreditation of voters. Let me allow you to listen to what the INEC chairman said about that.
In the context of the COVID-19 pandemic, polling units will now open at 8:30 instead of 8 a.m. and close at 2:30 instead of 2 p.m. This has become necessary in order to accommodate the additional measures to protect public health necessitated by the global emergency. However, all eligible voters who are on the queue by 2:30 p.m. will be allowed to vote in line with the Commission's regulations.
So a lot of things have happened today, and perhaps we'll be getting some clarity. But you'll be asking a big question here. The election is not only about INEC. What about the issue of security? The IG has listed the things that should be done and must not be done. Take a listen to the IG, Inspector General of Police, on what needs to be done.
The message here is clear. For the political actors and electors that are law-abiding, they are fully assured of optimal security as they exercise their electoral rights. However, for the deviants who, despite all wise counsels, are determined to deploy violence and other illegal means to advance their political interests, they should be prepared for the consequences of their actions, as they will be decisively dealt with irrespective of their status or political affiliations. While I call on all the political parties to embrace the virtues of democracy by seeing election as a call to service by the people and not do-or-die affair, I as well employ parents and guardians to counsel their children and wards to resist the unprofitable urge of being recruited by any politician for perjury and other acts of violence.
Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. There are more information that we have for you. We'll be hearing more from INEC. What about the ZPAD? The INEC chairman says there is a feature that it won't be working for the Edo election based on the test they did in the Nasarawa by-election. What happened to that feature? We'll hear more and show you some figures that you need to know in this election. More information right here on Politics Today on Channels Television. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back, everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, for staying with us. So let me get you into some of the questions you might have on your mind. So when you get to the polls on Saturday, if you are voting in Edo State, you must, as a matter of, it's compulsory for you to have your face mask. No face mask, no voting. That is the rule. Instead of the 8 a.m., it's now 8:30 a.m. But let's hear more from INEC, the Chief Press Secretary to the INEC National the INEC chairman, Mr. Rotimi Oyekomi. He joins us now. It's been a tough time today in Benin City, Mr. Oyekomi. Thank you for joining us. The OCT is on lockdown because I guess because of the campaigns in town and, of course, the fact that we have some visitors. The IG and the INEC chairman is in town. Everywhere is blocked. Thank you, Mr. Oyekomi. But what can you tell us first and foremost about the issue of the ZPAD? That's an innovation for INEC, for the accreditation. Voters are not used to it. What is this about this ZPAD?
Thank you, Sheil, for having me, and very good evening to your viewers. The Z part is simply one of the things that INEC has adopted in our determination to deepen the use of technology. First and foremost, the smart card reader will still be used for the election. It is mandatory. For the Z part, in the last election that we had in Nasarawa on the 8th of August, we did a test run, which is simply to aid the smart card reader in adopting the facial, in achieving full biometric authentication, and it's part of our effort to ensure that things go very well. But in that election, we discovered that one aspect worked well and the other aspect did not work well. For the Z part, apart from the biometric authentication that we use it for, it also has a camera with which we would take the picture of the polling unit result and then post it to the viewing portal that we have created, again in our bid to ensure transparency. As you are aware, we have this INEC result viewing portal that we are going to deploy for the Edo election, where the results of the over 2,600 polling units will be posted, and Nigerians will have the opportunity to view the results in real time.
All right. So let's get some clarity, Mr. Oyekomi. Just for a moment. Will INEC use the smart card readers? Because smart card readers, from my understanding, is for accreditation. So the Z part is also for accreditation. So will that be used simultaneously, or how would that happen?
Well, the smart card reader is mandatory. It will be used. Because, as you know, the permanent voter's card is read by the smart card reader. When you get to the polling unit, you present your PVC. It is the smart card reader that will determine whether the PVC is issued by INEC, whether it is genuine, whether the information there corresponds with what we have in the register of voters. But like I said, the Z part is an additional device, is additional technology that we have adopted to, support the smart card reader by capturing the facial recognition and all of that. But like I said, in deploying that technology in the last Nasarawa state constitution by-election that we had on the 8th of August, we discovered that one aspect of the Z-Part worked well, which is that authentication, the facial authentication that we had planned. That one did not work. But the other aspect of taking the picture of the polling unit result and posting that result to the INEC result viewing portal worked very well. So we are still going to use the Z-Part for that purpose. For the other purpose, it will not be used for that.
All right.
What I'm saying in essence is that the smart card reader is mandated to be used. The Z-Part will be used for posting results to the INEC result viewing portal. Yes, for online, exactly.
All right. I guess in the coming days, we're going to be getting used to some of this new creation that INEC is bringing into the electoral process. But I must sincerely thank you, Mr. Rotimi Oyekomi, CPS2 INEC chairman, for coming tonight to share his views on these issues. I must tell you, Benin City is on lockdown because of the traffic situation around town. Unusual on a day like this. But don't forget that you can be with us on Channels Television as we bring to you all the details you need to know in the Edo governorship election. Your home for the news, Channels Television, is on the ground with our crew here. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching tonight. I'm Sean Kimale. Bye-bye.